For 3 long years, not a single drop of rain had touched the land of Israel. The earth was scorched, cracked, and dying. The people, desperate and lost, had turned away from the one true God to worship a false idol, a powerless statue named Baal. But one man, the prophet Elijah, refused to let this stand. He marched to the heart of the problem, to the king and the 450 priests of Baal, and issued a challenge on the peak of Mount Carmel, standing before the massive crowd. Elijah's voice boomed across the mountain. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, then follow him. But if Baal is God, then follow him. The people were silent. So Elijah laid out the terms of the contest. It's simple, he declared. You build an altar for Baal, and I will build one for the Lord. We will both prepare a bull for sacrifice. But here's the catch. No one is allowed to light a fire. The God who answers by sending fire from heaven, he is the true God. The crowd agreed, and the 450 priests of Baal began their ritual. From morning until noon, they shouted, chanted, and danced around their altar, calling out Baal's name. As the hours dragged on, their chants turned into frantic screams. They danced wildly, leaping on the altar, even cutting themselves with swords and spears, hoping their pain would get their God's attention. But there was only silence. The sun beat down, and no fire came. Elijah, who had been watching calmly, couldn't resist. He leaned against a tree and began to mock them. Shout louder, he called out. Maybe your God is deep in thought, or perhaps he's busy. Maybe he's on a trip, or could it be that he's just asleep and needs you to wake him up? His words cut deeper than their swords, but still, no answer came from Baal. Their God was silent because he wasn't real. As evening approached, it was Elijah's turn. He stepped forward and began to rebuild the Lord's altar, which had been torn down. He took 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel, and carefully placed them. But then he did something that made everyone gasp. He wasn't just going to ask for fire. He was going to make the task humanly impossible. He commanded the people, fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and the wood. They did as he asked. Do it a second time, he ordered. They poured again. Do it a third time. Water drenched the sacrifice, soaked the wood, and filled a deep trench he had dug round the altar until it was completely overflowing. Now there was no trickery possible with the stage set. Elijah approached the waterlogged altar. There was no shouting, no dancing, no self-harm. He simply raised his eyes to heaven and spoke a calm, powerful prayer. Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and have done all these things at your command. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God. In an instant, the sky split open. A pillar of white-hot fire descended from heaven like a lightning bolt. It didn't just burn the bull. The fire of the Lord was so powerful it consumed the sacrifice, the water-soaked wood, the 12 stones of the altar, and even the very soil beneath it. It licked up every single drop of water in the trench, turning the mud to dust. The impossible had happened. When the people saw this terrifying and awesome display of power, they fell on their faces in the dust. A single, unified cry rose from the crowd, echoing across the mountain, "The Lord is God, the Lord is God." In that moment, there were no more questions, no more doubts. They had seen the truth with their own eyes. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.